Hello everyone, Cyberhawk over here. Today I'm just going to show you how we can install MISP in a Docker environment. So first of all, I would like to tell you that I have got to write down a well-detailed blog tutorial for that one. So you need to search my web app, which is Cyberhawk Threat Intel in the Google. The very first link that you will see, that's my web app. So just click on that one and then you will go into my web app, and then under the blogs over here you click on that, and then you will see my blog post in related to the complete guide for installing the MISP Docker in a Linux. So for that one you need to register that on my web app. It's a free, by the way, so you will get a really good insight in related to the cyber threat and bugs and other things. So yeah, just register yourself and get the exclusive access to my web app. So once you logged in, you will see that will available for you to preview. Right now it says member only because I have not logged in. So let me just log in and then I'll go through that post one by one. Okay, so I'm logged in right now. As you can see that I'm logged in with my account, and this is how the app is gonna look like, right? So if I click on a dashboard, that's my dedicated dashboard where you can bookmark your stuff, you can set up your MFA, change your password, change your email, that sort of stuff. So now get back to the MISP setup. So if I go back to the blog post over here, and right now you can see that padlock is gone because I'm logged in, so I can access that blog post. So if I click on that one, it will give me a detailed description what we're gonna do there. So over here you can see that it will tell you like how you're gonna install the MISP on any Docker in any Linux environment. So whether it's like a Ubuntu, Kali, or whatever Linux environment, or even on your Windows Docker machine, you can get that installed, right? So the first thing first, you need to install Docker on your Linux machine, right? In my case, I have already got installed. I'll show you here. So you can see that I have already got it installed, but here is a detail for how you're gonna do that. So you first need to fetch the Docker image, or sorry, Docker script, and then you change that, you add a user and all that. That's pretty easy, right? So once you've done that, what you need to do next, you need to compose the Docker image and these bits. You can just follow these command one by one and you will be good to go. Now, what we're gonna do that we're just gonna create a new directory where you're gonna dump the Docker image and then install it. In my case, I'm just gonna like this one. You can basically just follow all these commands. You don't need to make any changes or anything. It's all default. It's all pretty nicely set up over here. So I'm just gonna paste it. Click on oh, because I'm actually logged in as a user, so you need to be a root user, right? So I'm root user right now. I'm just gonna paste that and enter. And then you can see that from the home directory of a CyberHawk, I am now in a MISP Docker, right? Now you're gonna run that second command. Make sure you delete this dot at the end. And that is gonna, what it's gonna do, it's gonna pull that Docker image to that directory. Let's do it. Okay, so if I show you, you can see that it has got that Docker image, right? I'm gonna do the next command. Right, so as I just showed you before, that we need to copy that environment file that we have done that over here. So you can review that content of the file by doing the nano tablet.env, and then you can set up any username, or you can set up the base URL if you want to. But what I'm gonna do that I'm just gonna go with the default setting at this stage, so I'm not gonna open that up. uh, there is a YAML file, which is this one, which is basically all the config of the Docker that it's gonna pull up. I have pasted the content of that one as well over here. You can read that out, or you can just check that, cross verify if that's the same one. uh, then once you done that, you have to run the command docker compose pull, which I have written down over here. What it's gonna do, that it's just gonna run that YAML command, and then gonna fetch all those configs and the image docker that you can see it start happening over here. I have just done that before because it's a bit like time consuming, so I have clicked that off before recording it. So once you run that, it will gonna fetch all those images and the config files over here that you can see that it's all done. So if I come over here and hit enter, you can see that it's all done now, right? So what we're gonna do, that we just need to now do the docker compose up, which is basically turn on the docker, right? So I'm just gonna paste it over here and hit enter. It's gonna create that docker and then start booting up. Just give it a okay, so I got a one error dependency mass module failed, right? Okay, so for that one, okay, so this might be caused because I have got a less RAM, right? So what we're gonna do, that we need to check that. Okay, oh yeah, just on a bottleneck. What we're gonna do, that we need to like reboot the VM, and then it's gonna free up that space. Or you can like kill any other processes or whatever you like to do that. In my case, I got a few other services to run. I'm just gonna shut down other Dockers. Just give me a minute and I'll be back. Okay, so as I said that I have got other Dockers running, so there are a list of the Dockers that I'm running. I'm just gonna stop couple of the Dockers. Uh, that is actually sucking a bit of memory. I'll dump that out later. What else I got? Turn this one. Stop. Then I got, which one I got? The okay. Now let's check how much RAM I got. Okay, still not much. Looks like I need to reboot it, but let's give it a try again with that turn on. Okay. Oops, that's I'm in a wrong one. I have to paste it over here. Okay, perfect. So over here you can see that it's running. Okay, so let's check out the logs. Yep, looks all fine. It's doing its bit. So as you can see that in the environment file, that it is running on your localhost IP, on a port 8080, right? So if I go over here and I type localhost 8080, I should be able to access that. Okay, just give me one sec. What's happening? It's gonna be too busy updating. Okay, so it's still 1 second. Initialization is still doing its best. Just give it a minute. Okay, so it's gonna take like 5 to 15 minutes for completing that out. Just let it do it. Okay, perfect now. So what I have done that I tried to kill like a couple of Docker, but still it didn't work. So I have to reboot my virtual machine, which I have done that. So right now, if I run Docker PS, and if I go on the top, I can see that my MISP is running and it's good to go. So but it is actually not defaulting to the port 8080 because I have got other services running on the port 8080. So over here you can see that it is going to the port number 80 instead of the 8080. So I have to make a like little bit of change for that one. So if I go over here and type localhost, and then over here you can see that it's a MISP, right? So the first password, if I go back to my guide over here, you can see that like it's gonna be either 8080 like by default, or you can just change that you are like port 80 or 443. In my case I got a port 80 and 443, right? So so the username is gonna be admin at admin.test. You can just change that later on, like you can add your domain or whatever, and the password is just admin. If I click on login, I highly recommend you change your default password. So now we can just minimize this bit and maximize this one, so you can get a feeling of that one, right? So this is actually a main MISP console where you can get all your feeds and everything, right? This is your dashboard where it's gonna show you like your widgets. If you want to add that up in the event section, you can go and see all your events over here. Right now it's a fresh setup, so it's showing nothing. If I go over here, and there's a like another step, like for example if you want to put a SSL cert on that one, this is the guide where you can just keep following that and you can apply SSL cert. Right now it's not secure, as you can see over here, connection is not secure because it's not a SSL cert over on that server. That you can do that if you follow that guide, you can apply a certificate on it. You can also do the LDAP authentication if you are running in your production environment. You want to do authentication through your domain controller, you can do that. And always make sure you check for the updates on a time to time manner. And this is the thing that you can set up to back up your MySQL data, just in case if you know doing the actual VM backups or whatever. And this is how you're gonna restore that, and this is how you're gonna export your all name volume. So these are like the advanced steps if you wanna go to that part. I'm not covering that part in this video, but I will make that new video later on. If you wanna like have a look on these logs, you can check all these commands. That's pretty like straightforward. I have right down over here. um, and now let's get back to over here to the MISP. So if I come back over here in the MISP, how you're gonna basically, if you go back to your administration, right, and then server settings, this is the first thing that you need to like set that up, right? This is your main server setting that you're gonna config that. You can change your base URL. Right now it's a local host, you can just call it like misp.domain.com, or like for example if I want to call it, I can just double click on that. I can just write down um, misp.cyberhawk threadintel.com, and I'm just gonna take it, and then it will gonna reflect that URL, and then you have to have like DNS entry, and then you can expose that to the public or whatever you want, you can do that same thing over here. So these are the settings that you can do. Tweak that out. I'm not gonna follow that one. I'm just gonna quickly share you how you're gonna
add the feed, right? So basically this is the real stuff. So if you go to the sync actions and go to the feed, and if you click on a fetch all feed, right, and then load default feeds over here, and these are all the default fields that normally comes into the MISP. Right now over here you can see that I'm not caching any of these. That's all are crows. So if I wanna cache any of those fields, for example, if I search for like uh, MCSC, or I can probably I'm just gonna, okay, let's do the Tor. So if I wanna have a look on all the Tor nodes, for example this one, right? So I want to have a feed for all the Tor nodes that is coming from dan.mi.uk, and if you wanna do that you can do that. I'm not gonna do this one actually. I'm gonna use this info blocks. This is a really cool one, by the way. So if I select this one, and if I fetch and store all feed data, so I have like selected this one, and then I click on enable selected, right, and it's gonna enable that, right? So if I search over here and go to this one, now you can see it's gonna take over here, right? And I'm just gonna enable caching for the selected, so I'm just gonna do enable cache as well for that one. Click yes, right? And if I come back over here, and you can see that I have enabled that, I have enabled the caching, and it's coming to my organization only, right? I haven't published that yet. So if I select on this one, and actually I just need to go into the enable fields, and then if I go over here, list events, list attributes. Okay, it's just gonna take a bit of time because it's not kicked off straight away. For block, it's just take a bit of time. Alright, so you can see that when I click on fetch and store all field data, it's gonna set up a pull request in the background. So for that request you can check in jobs over here, right? It's gonna fetch the feed, and if you go over here you can set up your scheduled task over here. Like for example, this is all the pre-built one, like what time you wanna fetch all your feeds or whatever. So I just pull that. Let's go back to the event. Oh, here you go. So you can see that info blocks start feeding my MISP. So if I click on these event, and you can see that all these IOCs start pumping in. So I have got all the IOCs coming from that info blocks feed into my MISP. And if I click one of these, if I wanna list attributes, if I wanna open any of these, for example this one, and you can see that it's like coming from info blocks. That's the event ID over here, and then it got a IP, and these are the IPs that is coming in, right? And you can add your nodes or whatever, and now you can like feed all these IOCs to your Defender stack, your Sentinel, or whatever SOAP solution you got, right? That I'm not gonna cover that right now, but yeah, this is a pretty basic setup, like how you can install that, and then how you can set up once you get in, how you gonna get the feeds. So I have just like enabled only one feed, and you can start like seeing that it's number 1 2 3 4 5 6 events, and these 6 events have like a different type of a data in it, right? You can see that it's a CTA, this one that's a suspicious, that's a decoy. So that sort of stuff like start pulling in. If I refresh that again, yeah, so it's you can see the numbers of attributes are keep increasing. So this is how you're gonna how do that, right? So if you want to do another feed, you go back to the feed and then do it. But yeah, I'm not gonna do more right now. So if I go back over here, it's pretty much I covered all the parts. So what I'm gonna do that I'm just gonna add that video link in my web app as well. So if you want to follow that video link, you can do that. If you go over the videos over here, I have got like all these videos set up over here with all detailed tutorials, like you can just follow that up. So I'm gonna upload that video for this MISP event over here as well, so you will get that access and follow that guide. So for new cyber security related stuff, threat intel, whatever you like in a cyber security space, just keep follow Cyberhawk, sign up to my official app, and you will get a data for all that stuff. It's pretty easy. You just need to go into the Google, type Cyberhawk threat intel, and then you go over here and register, and then you enter your credentials and get register yourself, right? You can also subscribe to my newsletter if you like to. If you scroll down over here on my home page, you can just write down your email address and subscribe, and you will get notified every time I post any content. Bye for now. Keep following, keep subscribe my channel. Thank you.